Hi folks, hello and welcome back to another video right here on the channel. So Melody, what have we got today?
We've got Arkham Horror, we've got the card game.
Okay, Arkham Horror, the card game by Fantasy Flight Games, and this folks is based upon the mythos by HP Lovecraft, the American Gothic horror writer, and it is Melody, a living card game. Okay, so we have living card games and collectible card games. The difference being, a living card game will provide expansions for this game, which will let you know exactly what you're buying, so you know all the cards that's in the pack. A collectible card game, Mel and folks who may or may not know, is something that you buy a pack and you go in blind, something like Star Wars Destiny, Magic the Gathering, something like that, where you go along, you buy a pack of cards, but you don't know what's in it. Okay, so living card game, LCG folks, is what this is. It's also a model the Fantasy Flight do very, very well. So if you like the look of this and you're thinking about getting into it, get your wallet or your purses out because it is going to cost. It really is. Okay, so this comes in, it's currently on Amazon at time of recording December 2021 at $39.99, and it's basically, it's a core set. Okay, so you've got 3 scenarios that leads like a little mini campaign that's in the box. Okay, so what I'll do folks, I'll show you the box because I'm waffling it on again, and then I will give you a little bit of background and then we'll open it up, Mel, and show these good folks. Here we go, on go the specs. Okay, so Arkham Horror, the card game, a little bit of flavour text. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear, and the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. HP Lovecraft. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing. Okay, so it says, in the sleepy town of Arkham, Massachusetts, a small band of intrepid investigators seek to uncover the nature of a sinister menace that threatens humanity. There's Wayne Deacon again. But beware. The arcane realm holds countless terrors, and the investigators must take care to maintain a tenuous grip upon their very sanity and survive. Okay, so it basically goes ahead and tells us that it's a 2-player card game, cooperative game, folks. Like you all know now, is Mel and I work together to try and defeat the game. Okay, so just showing you there, folks. You've got like, this is all card and counter based. Okay, so do we have any Arkham Horror fans in the house? You, Mel, haven't read any, have you?
Nope,
but
I haven't.
You're aware of it because I've got that lovely big anthology on my bookcase.
Absolutely.
HP Lovecraft, the selection. So, yeah, let me know below, folks. Have you read any Lovecraft? Favourite stories? What do you think about the Necronomicon? I said it. Okay. And everything else, guys. Do you read general horror? Stephen King, anything else, you know? I mean, I'm just getting into horror, aren't I? So I'm just like learning, but I do love Lovecraft. Anyway, folks, so it says a card game of arcane mystery and supernatural terror for 1 to 2 players. Interestingly, you can go up to 4 players, but you need to buy a second box because this has a mechanism in it called deck building.
Right, okay.
Okay, so there's enough in here for a 2-player game amongst the characters that we have, but if you want to play 4 around the table, you buy the expansions or you buy another box. But we have predominantly got this, haven't we, for a 2-player game. This is going to be like our winter game, I suppose, won't it? Let's put that over there and out the way. So, Mel, straight away, we get a Fantasy Flight booklet.
Ooh, catalogue.
Yeah, it's like a catalogue, folks. These things just...
all the different games.
Yeah. This channel doesn't condone drug abuse, but these things are crack cocaine. Okay, so we have a Learn to Play guide, which I will have a little flick through in a minute, as per normal. We have a... Turn that back over for me. Oh no, that's really nice. It's got a phase sequence of events on a game and all the little different things for all the different icons on the cards. Anybody who watches the channel regularly knows how much I love these things, don't I? Okay, sorry for the interruption there.
The rules of reference.
So we have a rules reference. Again, this being a card game, Mel, you have keywords on the cards. I think that's a little index on the back there. So it might say terror, and if you weren't sure what it meant, you'd have a look
in there
and clarify it. A lovely little model of Fantasy Flight always do. Right, and we have a campaign guide, and the campaign that we start with is called The Night of the Zealot. And it says the Ghoul's Hunger, and there's a little bit of flavour text, which I'm not going to spoil for anybody who might want to go out and buy this, because we haven't played this yet, because I say it's just been unboxed now. Okay, so we got that there, and a little campaign guide on the back for you to fill in with our progress.
Cool.
So like I say, in the box there comes 3 scenarios, and what you do, you'll go through the first scenario and win, draw or lose, depending on how you do, that sets up the second scenario, second adventure. Same again, and then we go on to the final one, and then there'll be a list of like specifications, and it'll tell us how we done and how the adventure ended. So it's almost you guys out there maybe old enough to remember the play along adventures, you know, where you not so much choose your own path, but you know, where there's different endings.
Yeah.
So, you know, it gives it a little bit of playability, folks, right out of the box. So you might think, okay, there's only 3 scenarios. You get bored of that. But you've got 5, I think it's 5 investigators in the box. So, you know, you can go as different characters.
Yeah.
Because all different characters have different attributes, and you have a thing called health and sanity. So you'll either sort of get killed or you'll go insane.
Yeah.
So, you know, along with that, you have each character has their own deck of cards, and you know, so you've got that little bit of different combinations of characters.
Yeah.
You've got a random element, which I will talk about in a minute. So every game's going to be different automatically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so okay, yeah, you might know how the story goes, but then if we play through it, say, a second or even a third time, and like different things, all those variables, we might actually finish the story better next time.
Yeah.
Or we might meet a different character, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so as per the usual, we have a tray of pop-out tokens. Okay, and these are nice. These are your standard Fantasy Flight fare. We have a huge stack of cards, which I will get a couple out because I want to show something in a minute. Okay, we have another stack of cards. And the third pile of cards is just, these are player aids. So if you just show them to the camera, these are all different characters. So you put this on the table to represent yourself, okay? The different characters that you are. Because the locations of this, Mel, are cards. So you'd draw a location, like say the study. You put that down, then you put both of these characters down next to it to say we're in the study. Yeah?
Ah, okay.
Okay. So that is they. And just while you're on the subject of the little characters, just hold that one up for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, folks, that didn't go well. I thought I had the baggie open in one go. So this is Roland Banks. So what you do is that's the card you have on the table there.
Yeah.
And this is your character card. And across the top, you'll see different characteristics. So they're things for like strength and observation and intelligence and will and that kind of stuff, you know. So what you do is you go along, and so for instance you start, I haven't got the card to hand, so you're just gonna have to stay with me. So you start off in like the study. There's a card that says a study, and it tells us how many clues we need to get.
Okay.
So what you do is you would say, okay, Roland, as just an example, he has 3 for like his intelligence or his law, his basic understanding of what's going on, because he's like he's a federal agent.
Okay.
So you know he's going to be quite good at combat and quite good at mysteries and stuff. So what you do is these tokens here, yeah, across the top, folks, you'll notice they've got values on them. So they've got like 0, -1, 2, -3, and various different symbols. And what you do, folks, and Mel as well, is you have a bag and you put these tokens in. Now at the beginning of the scenario, it'll tell you how many of each to put into the bag. So what we do, okay, is we turn round. I'd say, okay, I'm Roland. I've got a value of 3. We need to beat a score of 2. So automatically you think, well, he's going to get that because it's 3 to 2. But then we put our hand in the bag and pull blindly on those tokens. So you might pull a -4.
Oh, right.
We've then failed that. We
Yeah.
take insanity or we take health and damage.
Yeah.
Okay, the same would happen if you come across a monster. They've all got values.
Okay.
You can like sort of fight a monster, or you can evade a monster and run away.
Cool.
You can go, once you clear the room, so I think there's 2 clues in a study. So we'd find the 2 clues, hopefully avoid monsters.
Yeah.
And then we move on to the next room. And what you've got is a really, really nice little system. I'm just going to use 2 cards just to kind of prove my point. Okay, so ignore what's on the card, just stay with me. So, okay, so you've got 2 cards. So this will be the one side of a page, and this will be the other side of a page, okay? Now, on this side of the page, we have to put clues. And we turn that over as we put the amount of clues on. Turn it over, it'll tell us the next part of the story. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, at the end of every round, at the beginning of the new round, we put a thing called the Doom token on the bad page.
Okay.
When this page gets so many, say 6 tokens, whatever it is, we turn it over and something really bad happens.
Right, okay.
So the idea is to get through this page of the book
Yeah.
before this page.
Yeah.
Because if we get through this page, we've had it, we've got insane and we're dead, basically, okay? So that, not the greatest example, folks, because I really haven't got all the cards, obviously, so just open them. But that's how you basically go about it. You'll go from room to room, you'll fight monsters, events will happen, you'll go insane, your deck of cards is in the box is actually pre-built. So you have different things you can do. You can, because it's a deck building game, you get a thing called resources, which is like the money in the game. And what you do is you start off with 5, and then you have different actions, and one of those actions is you can take a coin, so you can basically build your money up. And then what you do is you pull, for you guys who haven't played deck builders before, you have a hand of cards. You have a deck of cards to which you draw about 5 cards.
Yeah.
Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Everyone's still with me, yeah? Okay, so out of these 5 cards, you'll have maybe a gun, and that might cost 3. Yeah?
Yeah.
So you take your 3 resources and you buy that card and you'll be able to play it. Okay, so that's basically like the mechanics. So you've got different things you can do on your turn. You know, you can move, you can fight, you can evade a monster, you can explore, you can move between different rooms and all this sort of stuff. And all of it is done on those little numbers across the top, your skill checks, and that bag. Are you with me? And what you do, what's unusual, is when you pull a token from the bag, you don't leave it aside, you put it back in. So you might do it and think, oh, okay, I've still managed to get that test, great, I've got that clue. And I might go along and say, okay, I'm going to kill that monster now. So I'm going to attack that monster. Look at my strength. Look at the monster's strength. And I could pull the same token or something. So it's like devil's advocate, you're still chucking the tokens back in the bag. So that's basically like the mechanics of the game. You go through and you're hoping to find more clues and get our side of the story before the game and all the demons and all the bad spirits and all the insane stuff get their stuff on the doom. We get through, we win. But folks, it doesn't end there, because like I was saying about the Fantasy Flight model of the living card game, you then go out and you buy another box, which is called, I think it's a Dunwich Legacy, and that itself gives you 3 more scenarios, and then there's things called action packs, and there's 6 of them. So you get the expansion box with a couple more scenarios, setting up that side of the story. I think it's you're in a museum in the second one, I think.
Oh wow!
And then I think there's like a third one that's like you go to like, it's a bit like an Indiana Jones film where you're in like temples and stuff like that. So you're just basically working your way through these things. I knew this was going to be a hard game to explain because I've done my research before. I've had this on the shelf a long time, and I really wanted to play it. And just on the off chance, I said to Mel, "Do you fancy it?" And you've played a couple of deck builders. You like Hero Realms, don't you? And stuff, Star Realms. So you're not about. And so I thought it might be a little bit of a hard sell of being like a horror theme. But this, folks, it's not like horror as in people like getting limbs ripped off and everything. You know, it's more like sort of supernatural horror. Which plays with your mind. Which, if you read any Lovecraft books, he tends to do. Okay, so look, that was like a little introduction there to the Arkham Horror, the living card game. Really hope you enjoyed it. Are you looking forward to playing?
I am.
Yeah, well, I'll go home. I'll take all this stuff out and hopefully we'll get to play soon. If you folks enjoyed it, let me know below. I know I didn't explain it the best. Have you played this game? Would you fancy playing this game? Is it your kind of thing? Are you not into horror? Would you rather have a brain and not get involved in a living card game and the points drop, the financial drop that's in it? Or are you one of them who collects, say, this or its sister game, the Lord of the Rings living card game, and just sinks pounds or dollars into it and really, really, really love that franchise and the experience? I'm going to leave it there. I think I've kept these folks long enough. Anybody new here, if you manage to fall across us by the YouTube algorithm, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, hopefully word of mouth, hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell, like and share. More importantly, what do we want them to do for us, Mel? Leave us a comment. Leave us a comment and let us know how you're doing. Until next time, we'll see you lovely folks later. Bye bye.
Bye bye for now.